Now, what I should do is train you guys
Rhett,
to. Yeah.
I also have Jay Miller patiently waiting in the back room.
Who?
Jay Miller. He's from the band that plays out at Dodger Town.
Oh yeah, we'll have to wait. He's not
Isn't there a
scheduled.
game coming to town?
Tomorrow.
What
You
is it?
gonna come?
Who is it?
I got tickets. You
Who
got
is it?
tickets.
Who is it?
The Jackie Robinson thing. It's the Marlins versus the whoever. You want tickets tomorrow
Are
night?
they real? I mean, they're the real pros?
No, they're the fake pros.
No, are they a pro like
The real
MLB?
Marlins.
No,
Yeah.
they're bubbling under at a B.
Okay.
Listen, I want my thing. We're on YouTube. We gotta watch what we're saying here.
I just asked if it was MLB. It wasn't a.
And I want you guys to go.
Well, that's good.
Okay, come on, guys.
Brevard County Manatees. It's minor league baseball.
Thank you.
Okay.
See, he addressed
Okay,
my
ready?
question. Thank
Ready?
you very
Okay,
much.
let's go. And whenever we get to that part, you do it again. When you see me bow my head, it means do it again. Okay. Okay, here we go.
How many reps of
Hey, you can actually record this while we're in the news. Let's do our first test.
Oh.
Joseph's equipment.
See, he hazards all in hope of fair advantage.
Right.
Throws it all on the line right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
I like to bring up.
If you're going to do it, you got about a minute.
Okay, here we go.
15
Ready?
seconds.
Hey, we gotta do it now. We got okay.
Ready.
1, 2, 3. I'm so sick of. You guys keep doing it. Keep doing it. I'm so sick of politics. Coming in the bag of tricks. Fat cats making dubious decisions. Washington needs adult supervision. Abe Lincoln, where are you? God save the red, white, and I think here would be good. Abe Lincoln, where are you? Go. Where are you? God save the red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. Taxes are squandered. Then you don't say anything. Taxes are squandered in a Secret Service car. Where's Ronald Reagan? Where's FDR? Well. Okay, I think we'll have to practice a little more later. And
Yes.
Good
We're gonna
morning,
get back to
Laurel Beach.
are we on the air yet?
Talk
Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We're not on. We're not on, are we?
No, you're not on.
We're
We'll
on.
be in
Oh, the mic
about
just
2
went on.
seconds.
2 seconds.
How
Oh,
come
here
the
we
mic
go.
was on and then it
Hello.
went off?
No, that was on because we were recording, trying to record. That was on because we're trying to record that song because you bought the new device. Michael came in. Of course, it only cost me $400 to have it installed. Good morning, Sparky. How you doing, Sparky? Let's everybody give a round of applause
Yes.
for Sparky.
Yeah, good show. Good show,
Hey.
Sparky.
This is applause, gentlemen. That's yelling. This is applause. All right.
Oh, sorry there. Hello.
All right.
Excuse me.
Sparky behind the glass, the man who has to be younger than us because otherwise he'd have a heart attack.
Then we,
With
Rhett,
our
then we.
demands. And of course, we're on YouTube. You can find us on Vero's Voice on
Yes.
YouTube live every morning. So, fellas, we're on iHeartRadio
Yes.
and
National.
yeah, international. Actually, this week we
International.
had last week and this week a fella, Eddie. He's been listening from England.
England.
And he's there's another guy over there that listens. We've heard people from all around the United States. So if you're joining us,
Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, has also been trying to call here the last few days to talk to you about the comedian aspect. You saying bad things about the Turkish president. Not right, Rhett. It's just not right.
with me thighs, yeah, want another pie.
Yeah, rah, rah, rah.
Give me pork pie. Want the pork pie, throw it in your eye. Okay, let's get back to it.
Yes, Ted Cruz.
I have a question for you. In California now, they want to pay the criminals not to commit crime.
Correct.
I can't believe that. I mean, don't we have enough problems in America without giving our money away?
But that's
for some
California.
Yeah, but you know, there was
The
another.
strange, the unusual, the unpredictable. California.
You know, I can understand why people become elitists and why we end up having dictators. Because you live long enough and you realize how stupid a lot of people are. Actually,
Because they're not stupid. I think they're
Mr.
blind.
Froman, we are all quite stupid.
No, I
Well,
don't.
Yes.
I agree with Rhett. I'll tell you why.
Well, not Mr. Froman, he's not.
The reason I agree with Rhett is that because people don't get involved.
They don't want to.
It's a take care of me.
Yes.
I want to live my own life.
want my
You pass any law you want. I don't care. I spoke to a deputy last night, and not from New York
They pulled
City.
you over again?
No. From New York City. I had dinner with him last night, and he was telling me that the convicts, when they get out of prison,
Yeah.
their families are taken care of. He said there's $400 per child.
For how long?
I don't know. He didn't
For how
tell me
long
how
they're in
long.
jail?
Well, no, that when they
That'll happen next.
No, they give them
Oh.
a helping hand
It's
when they
called
come out of
stipend.
prison.
Okay.
Each child gets supported.
Yeah,
For
stipend.
how long?
He didn't tell me the
You
timeline.
just said
If
Groundhog
Look,
Day.
the
I
great-
knew, Red, if I knew how long.
I ain't quitting.
But it may last 5 years. I really
You
don't
don't
know
know.
about how long it
Come
lasts.
on.
But they give them a house. Let me finish. They give him
Yes,
a
sir.
house to live in.
Yes,
They give him a cell phone,
yes.
but he must report like once a month to
Correct.
them in order to keep these benefits.
Right.
It comes out to about $50,000 a year for every convict that comes out.
Yes,
Then now on top of that, they're going to pay an additional $1,000
right.
not to commit any crimes.
Correct.
I mean, does this sound like a big sucking sound?
No, it
of the
sounds like
cash
it
of
sounds
the
like
American
someone-
people?
it sounds like someone's
draining.
pocketbook has been opened up. Your purse, my tears.
Well, you know what it is? It creates more government jobs
Of course it
to
does.
supervise these criminals. So it says like the system is broke.
Yes.
Let's put people in office who care
See,
about
yes.
the
And
country.
I disagree that Americans are stupid. What
I agree.
what,
No,
what I,
I-
what
I
I,
didn't, whoa, I
They're
didn't say
not.
Americans.
No, they're
I
not
said,
that stupid.
You said people.
Excuse me. I did not say Americans. I did not pick on them exclusively. Humans.
okay.
And I think pride has brought us down an abyss. And I don't think you all realize how pleasantly stupid we all
But-
are.
Well, I think they're disconnected from the real world, people. They're so engrossed in
Look,
their own life.
we can eat, we
That's
can
what it is.
defecate, we can have sex and procreate, but what is there? Really, it's not really that complicated. We don't really accomplish that much. We drive around in cars, we rob, pillage, and destroy, singing who we can take the most advantage of.
Well, I
That's
mean,
like Attila the Hun.
Yeah, that sounds like a pirate
We
on,
have-
on
we
the
have-
Great Caribbean.
Humans
What
are
are you
lethal.
talking about?
Humans are lethal.
No,
we
they're
have,
not.
we have multiple of trillions of dollars in an economy in just one nation alone. I think we accomplished quite a bit. We have diseases and cures constantly being created in the United States, better treatments across the board in all diseases and illnesses. I think we create quite a bit and we contribute quite a bit. I think what
You're like Obama.
Well-
We created all these jobs. You
What
didn't
we're
create
doing-
nothing. God gave you the opportunity
Well,
to see.
what we're doing, we're confusing.
Get your own soil.
We're confusing a lack of intelligence with apathy, and that's
Apathy, that's the right word.
yeah. I think people are apathetic
Apathetic.
and not pathetic, and like what Rhett believes, all people in the United States are.
It's diuretic. It's apathetic. There ain't enough protein going to your brain.
I will say this, gentlemen, that right now we are in a watershed. And the
What does that mean?
What it means that you can go right or you can go left. You can go free or you can go
What does a watershed
slave.
moment mean? It means like the old time train came up to the watershed and you
Well-
refueled the water and then you could either go left or
No,
right.
it's
What does
it's
watershed mean?
well, it's just a simple phrase meaning that water either goes to the right or to the left, goes up or goes down.
Hold on.
It's a fundamental.
Hold on.
It's called a fundamental change.
What does a watershed moment mean, Siri?
God love him. God love him. All right.
Let me have a look.
Okay.
Okay, I found this on the web for it's called a fundamental change. What does a watershed moment mean?
Okay, what's a watershed moment? Here we got it right here. A watershed moment. Answers.com has come up with this. A critical turning point. What is a moment What it is actually is a moment in time where everything changes, a point in time where nothing after will be the same as before. To call it a turning point technically is true, but it is, oh, I don't know.
Correct. It's,
Anyway,
you know, you can go
you get the
thesaurus all you want
Yeah.
and scrub Webster all you want, but all it means is
Scrub West, what's that? Scrub West.
scrub Webster.
Put old Webster in the bathtub and scrub down that dead
You know,
body.
Hey, Rhett, to
Educational
put
show
it
now.
into terms like that you have experience with, is like when somebody has cancer and the chemotherapy is over, that would be a watershed moment because it's a turning point in their life.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be.
But,
It's
but,
very broad.
but
I
in
mean,
this particular instance,
Right.
and the reason why I framed it as such is because right now we are in a very, very, very bad situation, gentlemen.
And what is that situation, Councilor Fromain?
It's called enslavement. Now, maybe you all don't understand the concept in every of its aspects.
people are dumb then, huh? But Counselor.
No, I'm saying they may not
I
understand
told
it
you
in
so.
all their aspects, but they do see it.
I want to hear this. So
Come on.
please.
No, I'm just saying that there's a moment, and we're here right now where we have a chance. There are enough people that are discussing why must I kneel and worship that idol that has been forged by either Obama, by Bernie Sanders, if he were to ever succeed in getting his crowd into office.
Mhm.
But it's a matter of whether you want to be free or you want some jerk, some slug telling you what to do, when to do it. And as Obama said, I will determine when you laugh, when you cry, when you live, and when you die.
Ooh, sounds like a rock song.
You know, a funny thing, I was with about 75 people last night, and we were just discussing life itself, and most of the people were senior citizens.
Yeah.
And we all came up to the same conclusion.
Oh, I know where you were. You were at Italian American
Well,
Club.
that's all you'll have to mention. But anyway.
I'm thinking 75 people. Where is this? Larry's been out eating lasagna again.
Go ahead,
So
tell us your
anyway,
story. I want to hear this.
So the consensus was this, and we all said the same thing. It's ironic. From New York City, from Cleveland, all over the world, they were there. And we come up saying, look, how safe we felt in the 1950s and the 1960s.
Yeah, we never locked the house in the
And
front
that's
door,
what
the
they were
back
saying.
door.
We could leave the door. There was no crime in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we
Why
said
is
our
that?
life was so, there was less government, more protection,
Yes.
and we had less than we have today with the kids. We communicate with our children.
What do you mean we have less?
Well, we have less time socializing
yes.
because, like everyone was saying, my grandchildren will text each other while they're sitting in the same room.
Yes.
And said, so we have no
You
communication.
notice that.
Then we all said, yeah, and this is another thing. We would get an old broom handle and play stickball, and
Yeah.
everybody was
Oh,
happy.
yeah, we came home from school, we played kickball every day
Right,
with the
right.
Greenbergs.
Buck, number one is coming. You jump on the other kid's back, and we all talked about the
Claude
good
and
times.
Jimmy.
We created our own games.
Right.
We used our imagination. We can count without using a computer,
Yes.
and we were much more
Where have
happy
the
and felt safe.
Greenbergs gone? This is my sad, sad song, and I'll sing away, 'cause I am longing for yesterday. When we used to get home from school, we weren't no computer fools. We used to go out in the fresh air, we used to play. Then we'd rob Mr. Baker some stuff from his garage.
Yeah. Yeah. Needed that bike wheel.
Uh-huh. The truth comes out.
Stop it. Stop it.
Maybe Ted Cruz can bring us back to the old days where we all felt safe and we can let our children out without worrying about them being
Well,
kidnapped or
No,
anything.
I doubt Cruz has that kind of power.
We need more love in America.
Well, love is a very important emotion, but the one that we have to be careful of is the horrible emotion called envy. Envy. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, true.
It's one of the.
Green Eye Monster.
Yes, but one of the 10 Commandments is thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not be envious. And the reason for it is, and as Moses pointed out, that by being envious, if you take envy and stick it into a government situation, you will find people standing up in front of crowds, such as Bernie Sanders, and saying, millionaires and billionaires. And you think to yourself, who is this jerk? Well, that jerk is going to come in, bash down your door, and grab everything you have, and you've got people right behind him, a couple thousand every time he shows up, with their bats and their clubs, screaming, let us destroy, let us grab. Yes, of course. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Just lost control.
Yes. A noble and true conceit of godlike amity. Yes. Godlike amity.
Lord, we don't need another mountain.
You have to pay royalties.
Oh boy.
Oh. We don't need another meadow.
There you are. Godlike amity.
Everybody sing now.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
That is just too little.
I have to explain this to the listeners. Rhett
Yes.
is using his hands as if he was a conductor.
Yes. On a large orchestra.
Yes, in the New York Symphony.
Yes.
And
Mark the Hair Guy's on the line. Good morning, Mark the Hair Guy.
That was entertainment, bro.
Hello.
Entertainment.
Okay.
I appreciate this segment.
How you doing, Mark the Hair Guy?
Good, sir. Good. I'm just on my way to work, and I was enjoying that. That was nice. Thank you, sir.
Now, I understand you were there with Joseph last night at an event with Mr. Solari and who?
Jake
Kramer.
Yep.
So I was. It was like watching two titans battle it out. They bloodied each other's noses. It was intense.
Did they get nasty?
I thought it was at a Roman Coliseum. It was.
My
Did it
land.
really get tough?
No, I think it was intellectual sparring. I mean, I think it was back and forth.
I can't imagine Mr. Kramer getting
It was like a Lincoln Douglas, kind of Lincoln Douglas-esque.
Lincoln Douglas. Oh my God.
Okay, sorry, I love politics. So, yeah.
I have never seen two men with such a command of the use of acronyms in my life.
Hey, you know what? I was going to ask you. I noticed last night, well, maybe I just lost my mind temporarily, but I noticed last night you didn't announce that you were running for office like everybody else did in the room.
You know, Joseph, I am one of the worst politicians in the world. I'm really not used to this whole, I can't say ass on the air, can I? Kissing up to people and shaking hands and kissing babies. But yeah, I was there and I did my thing, but quietly.
Gotcha. You always kiss my babies.
Well, you know, your babies are cute, sir.
Hey, and you have a couple of little cuties yourself. But,
He does,
Joseph
he does.
is having another baby. Well, no, he's not. Actually, it's
No,
Memory is having another baby this Friday.
Not tomorrow, but next week.
No,
8
week.
days.
Oh,
8 days.
8 days. She's having another baby, unless she
Wow.
has it before then.
Yeah, it'd actually be 7 days and 20
Do you know if it's a
hours.
girl or a boy?
It will be a baby girl. Yeah.
Oh,
Number
another
6.
Girl. How
Three
many
boys,
girls?
three
Are
girls.
you have 4 boys and one girl right
Three-
now?
3 boys,
Yeah, 3 girls.
and we'll have 3 girls.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
What are the names of the
family.
girls you have now? Oh, you have the little one,
Uh-huh.
and her name is.
Josephina.
Who's the next one?
Palma will be the oldest.
Right.
Palma's the oldest. Josephina's the baby.
We had 8
Until the,
8 children in our family.
Did you what?
On behalf of the thinking intellectual community, thank you, Joseph, for your service. He's one of the few of us that's not having 1.5 babies. He's actually repopulating with good genetics. material. That's good.
I know, it's a good thing. Well, he's got to figure out how that's happening. Listen, Mark the Hair Guy, good to hear from you. We're going to take a break, all right?
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Remember to catch AskTheHairGuy.com in Bureau Boys Magazine every month.
That's right, in Bureau Boys Magazine. And you can pick up your free copy at Mark's.
That's right, 46 Royal Bound.
Mark's Hair Salon Spa.
He's
All
good
right.
at promoting.
He won't promote himself for running for his office, but he'll promote Mark the Hair Guy. All right, we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. Don't forget, they have those, is it Sonatas on sale for $14,000 each? There's one car that's selling right now. $14,000 each, $6,000 off. The sale is on today. Get out there to Route 60 Hyundai. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for calling in, Mark. Talk to you.
So I heard that right. He did not announce that he was
No, he
running
didn't.
for office.
No,
last night.
he said it was very low key.
I thought he dropped out because
No.
everybody stood up and announced who was running for what.
How about that?
It's Larry's song.
Do you have to? Don't you have to pay royalties every time you play somebody else's song?
On the station pays that. The man next door won't have live music. He says he'll have to pay
He's
thousands
right.
of dollars.
Right at my daughter's restaurant.
So wait, so for you, if you played one song after, so we could.
I'm cool.
No, I'm saying. I want to
Clear
understand.
channel.
If we played 1,000 My Way songs in a row, that money would have to ultimately go to.
We don't take care of that. Performing Rights Society takes care of that. Ask at BMI.
So why not write a song?
Yeah.
Wait, Rhett, I need to say this. Why not write a song and then just have a continual loop? Your song just plays, and then make the station pay you for it, royalty.
Well, they have to pay ASCAP for them to pay me. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, well, how come I gotta send my attorney after it? You know, I got four $400 checks, $500 checks, $300 checks for my song that was on Debbie Maycumber's movie. Okay, I haven't received anything after last Christmas or this Christmas. Well, maybe last year I got $400.
What'd your contract say?
There is no contract. They have to. You have it published. You send them a member of ASCAP, and they're supposed to send me money.
Really?
Yeah.
I need my attorney after this, guys. The only thing is, how much can I use the council here before I have to start paying them?
As they
Well,
say,
there's
right?
friendship there. There's
Costly thy
no-
habit as thy person
Your
buy.
friendship is worth more than
Yeah.
a fee.
Yeah, I have it
Hey, listen,
monetized.
did I forget to tell them it's $1,000 every 5 minutes for being on the show here?
That's right. We're promoting him.
Yes, and
The
so it
most
was.
popular counselor.
Yes,
So you haven't gotten anything for 2 years, 2 Christmases?
They don't really remember, Joe.
It's at least a year.
Yeah.
All right.
we have, Joe, we
Yes,
had
sir.
8 children in my family.
We had a
4 boys, 4 girls.
Oh my gosh.
And it was
Perfect match.
wonderful. We had, but we lived west of town, and we only had us to play, kids to play with. So, and so it's a very different atmosphere back then than it is
Well, we
today.
gotta be practicing.
It's the thing that but on the other hand, we're very close as children. We're close, but nowadays we're still in contact with each other quite a bit, and large families I think have that aspect that small families really don't.
I think large families, each child depends on the other child for entertainment.
Yes,
And they become closer
Very
because
close.
they interact constantly.
That's what
That's-
Counselor was just saying.
Yeah, and that's true, but we don't have that today.
well, I'm just
And it's a
saying,
shame.
6 children,
Oh,
Joe, it's incredible. I'm
Oh.
just telling you, the work involved is monumental. Wow.
I think,
Well-
I think every child should have a pet to teach them
Hey,
responsibility.
yeah,
Well, a lot of-
you can have the pet and then the.
No,
oh, we're
okay,
back on the air, gentlemen. How
Oh,
are you?
my goodness.
We have Joseph Sempervivo in here today. We have Larry Sempervivo, the father who's responsible for this. And then,
That parade, Brett, that parade.
and we have Counselor Froman.
Yes, hello.
today.
Hello, team. Okay, Vera, and might I say, go Gators. This is the year of the Gator, guys. I know there's a lot of Knowles out there, and I know you, and Hurricanes, I know, but I'm telling you guys, it's the year of the Gator. How's that?
I have a question, Rhett,
Okay.
for Joseph.
Yes.
You know, I was talking to some people, and some of the people had said to me, well, you know, Cruz, how is he going to get legislation passed and everything of different things
51%.
because he isn't really liked? And I realize how smart he is and everything. And this question's for Joseph. Joseph, how is he going to get abolish IRS and all those other things because of that? They say he's not liked by the Senate and so
Yeah,
on.
Larry wants to know. It's a Larry moment and a Larry question.
Well, what do you think,
Hold on.
Joseph?
Okay. So,
Godlike amity. Yes.
So, you know, you first have to identify why he's not liked, and he is liked from individuals in circles that understand and appreciate what he has accomplished.
Yes.
You know, whether that was promising everything he's ever said and sticking to those promises, whether that was going before the United States Supreme Court 9 times and defending the Constitution, country sovereignty and state sovereignty, whether that's on critical issues like Obamacare, filibustering. He went against the norm. He went against Washington politicians. He went against cronyism.
Yeah.
So for people who wanted subsidies and for their businesses to keep them propped up when they should have failed, Cruz is against that.
Not only that, but Cruz has also said, let's talk about the vets for a minute. The vets are behind Cruz.
Oh yeah,
They're
absolutely.
very much behind Cruz. Did you know, Joe, that waiting time at the VA hospitals are 50% longer now?
Right.
50% longer than they were just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
50%.
it ain't right, I'm telling you. It ain't right.
Well, it's not. I'm telling you that the vets are being screwed, blued, and tattooed,
Well, you know,
and they best behind a freedom fighter and don't support this Bigfoot government
you know,
stuff.
you know what I don't understand? How come an illegal could go to any hospital, but yet a vet can't?
Well,
I mean,
because they're a
Americans and they
vet.
can't do it.
Well,
They're
that's
a
why
vet.
Cruz wants our vets to be able to have access to any hospital in
Yes.
this country. Period.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
You know, Joe, you're absolutely right.
I'm sorry, Larry. I know it's a Larry minute, but guess what? It's time to take a break, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. When we come back,
We'll be back with more love from Larry.
Yes. No, the vets get screwed.
How do you stop this
You're a
now?
vet. You a vet?
No, I'm not. I wasn't able to serve.
I was too
Neither am I. But my dad was a submariner during World War II.
Bixby says vets are not behind Cruz, they're behind Trump.
Well, I lost a brother
I
in the
love
war,
that.
so I know my family did their fair share to keep us free.
Older or
And I know-
younger brother?
It was the older
Older.
brother.
The oldest of the family.
Michael.
The
Do you need anything?
yeah, I can freshen my coffee.
I'm going to get a cup
Come
of
on,
coffee too. How long do we have enough time to get
We
coffee?
got like 5 minutes. We got done.
Boy, you have a sweetheart here. She's a keeper.
I know. She's our girl.
That's so nice to hear. Well, I learned so much about you by reading the book.
Oh, did you? Great.
You were persistent with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. My dad always taught me that. I was reading.
Sometimes you gotta live what you believe up in your arms, 'cause that's where it starts. Right here with you and with me. But no, well, it's love, love and only love. A little bit of love from love. Meant to make a better day. Let's come together, lay our differences down. Spread it all around. That's what the world needs now.
What's your favorite team? What's your favorite team?
Larry, I can't be thinking about cake right now.
I'm on a diet. Oh, okay. And you, by the way, I'm not Indian. No, you shouldn't be baking. I'm not never on a diet. Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Okay, I'll come and get him.
Outside.
All right, as they say.
Oh, that's what I got a binder for. I love it. Thank you. I think that's a good policy, Beverly. I think it's a good policy. At 9 o'clock, every time we have a new fresh cup of coffee and a fresh water.
I just can't tell you how much, because that old boy was an iron chef.
What'd you say?
Prima donna. You know, they always do that when, you know, that's something you should do. If I was your business manager, I would buy a 4-hour block. If I was an investor in Rhett, I'd buy a 4-hour block of airtime. And all 4 hours I'd do Rhett Palmer radio. And I would just play radio song after radio song that I did. So I could get a check. Even if how much they take, 5 cents a song? Is it 5 cents?
It's 2:30 in the morning. Someone is trying to break in, but your security system from Complete Electric and Alarm is working. Your home's on lockdown. Security cameras are rolling, and the authorities are already on their way. That's the security of Complete Electric and Alarm. The best security money can buy. Call 388-0533. That's 388-0533. Online at CompleteElectricInc.com. Complete Electric and Alarm, Florida's premier alarm service.
We're outside. CJ Cannons and Gina has something to say about CJ Cannons.
It's the best breakfast in town.
You love it, huh?
Absolutely.
What's your favorite meal here in the morning?
I would have to say the traditional is better than the best.
Never makes money.
20 hours a month. I think the bacon rewards are the best 5-star resort.
I would absolutely agree with you on that, and I also think they're the best coffee too.
Hey guys, you have to go back to the station.
On the griddle.
Room. Shane has spoken. Engineer, he's our political whip. That's what they do with, Rhett was right behind me. I didn't even know. That's what they do in DC. They have a whip. See how many votes they have. Shane is our whip. He's lining us up.
See, I believe in good fortune.
I believe in karma.
And,
We meet different people because God puts you
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
but for us to be in here, I never would have met you guys
That's
if it
right.
hadn't been for Rhett.
Right. Rhett is instrumental in bringing a lot of
Are you kidding?
talented people
Yeah.
together.
If it wasn't for my terms and good looks, we would have never.
Well, that's it. That's
If it
it.
wasn't
Are
for
you
Joseph,
kidding?
I would never be here.
If it wasn't
And
for Rhett, I would never be here.
What I
Well, he
always like,
adopted you.
he has the nerve of the Nemean lion.
Good morning,
Who does?
Vero
He
Beach.
does.
Good morning. Good morning. Are we back on the air?
We are
Yes.
with Rhett Palmer, Mayor of the
Yes,
Airways.
Rhett.
I'm
Have
glad
it.
It's our
somebody knows
host
what's
today.
going on.
We have
I
Counselor
was posting-
Steve Romay.
Yes,
Stephen
Steve
Promay.
Promay. We have
Yeah.
Larry Sempervivo and Joseph. I went to see Doris. Have you seen Doris the movie?
No.
Doris?
Remember the lady who collected the not the Grammy, the Academy Award? Goes, you like me, you really like me, Sally Field. Well, she plays the part. It's a great movie. Also went to see My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Now it
Oh, I
starts,
heard that was good.
it's fun. Now it
Part
starts
two.
off weak. Understand it's goofy humor. If you go knowing that, it's really good. Like the father. I interviewed the father, Michael Constantine, about 2 years ago. And I just sat there, and he was at one of these things where you sign the autographs and all stuff. So I'm sitting there doing this interview. Went over 2 hours. He said, "This is the longest radio interview I've ever done." But anyway, he in the new movie he gets stuck in the bathtub.
Don't tell me about the movie. I don't
He
want to
gets
hear
stuck in the bathtub, and like this is really important. So he gets stuck in the bathtub, and so the mother comes out because the whole family's there outside in the hallway, going, "What are we going to do?" And she said, "It's okay. So we can empty the water out of the tub, and we can save him." And she says, "I'll put a towel over him." And he goes, "And a big towel."
Yeah. And so it was.
Oh, you're
That's what
fortunate,
Constantine-
Red. You go to all these shows and everything. You know, that's pretty wonderful.
Yes.
You need an assistant like
And you
me
know
to
what-
go with
Yeah.
You can come with
All
me. I
right.
go to the what's the theater? Majestic.
Yes.
That is
you.
the
Oh,
most
it's a
wonderful
beautiful
theater.
theater.
Thank you,
Oh, it is. The
concierge.
seats
They
are
did a
comfortable.
great job.
The best popcorn in town. There's no doubt
Really?
about it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Majestic there. I love going there. Yep.
Yeah, it's a wonderful.
They're not a sponsor. I'm just saying this because I like it over there. And the people wear the little hats behind the thing. I mean, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Those little outfits for serving the popcorn and the stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Red, what makes you so different than other radio hosts and all,
Mhm.
if you like a person or you like a product or the theater,
Yeah.
you mention it.
Yes,
And
and
you're not worried about a buck. Oh, I got to get paid to mention you. You're there for the community.
Yes.
That makes you special.
Big and special. Yes.
Really?
Big towel. Big towel.
So I
Big
mean,
time,
I
you're
know
right.
I'm big, but that's why I'm having the Shackley shake right now.
There you are. Hello.
Now we have, of course, Counselor Fromang is in here.
Yes. Good
We-
morning, Red.
Good morning.
Good
sir.
morning.
to
Good
see you.
morning.
And
December
he's in
meeting.
partnership with who's that fellow I met the other day? I like him.
No, not a partner. We're just associates.
Associates.
Ryan.
So what does that mean?
Giovanni.
If you're not partners with your associate, what does that mean?
Well, it means that we, when the wagon needs to be pulled, I grab one part and he grabs a part and we pull together. Not against, but in communion and confluence. That's how we did that.
It's like two horses pulling a cart.
Yes,
You work
but you
together.
can't tell Rhett that.
Now, Fromang, I want to ask
That's
you
that's
this.
not framed, as they say.
Steven makes me want to almost get in trouble just so I can go before the judge with him.
Oh.
Because this guy, I gotta see. Hey, I want to be invited over sometime.
Okay, Monday, I pick a jury in a theft
What
case.
time?
We'll pick about 9:30. Judge Cox will convene the venari, and there's going to be about 80 people there. 40 of them will know me, so they'll have to get off the jury immediately. Really, most juries around this town, I've been doing this for 40 years almost.
Well, how come it took you so long to come in here? I've been on the air now. Your brother's been listening.
Wait,
to my
I want to
show
hear
20
this.
years
He's-
ago.
he's
Let
gonna
him finish
do
it, yeah.
Jury selection. This is exciting.
All right already.
This
Okay,
is
so
the American
if- if-
system. We want to know about it.
If they know it, 40. If 40 knows you out of the 80, they just dismiss those 40.
Well, I don't, because I want to climb in bed with them and love on them. Are you kidding?
Right.
I want a not guilty coming here.
Well, it's
And
the
so
other
when I-
attorney, the other
The
attorney.
prosecutor has how many strikes?
They get 6 and I get 6.
You both get a total.
But I also get it for cause too, which means for cause means that the juror, no matter what you do, no matter how you do it, they're going to vote against you or for you, and there's no way to sway them either way. I've had people come in there and look at me and say, Mr. Fromang, I know you. And the judge will say, can you be fair? I say, yeah, I can be fair, but I'm going to vote for him. That's a good guy up there. I've had people say, yeah, I've known your dad, or I know your brother, or I know your
So then they
sister.
have to be
So you
they
can
have to be
strike for
released, right?
cause. So you can strike for cause.
Yes.
Right.
And then how many strikes for cause do you have?
Well, as many as there are, I know you, I love you. And there's a lot of them. But
Can't
Now-
you ask that? Can you ask one question? and then strike for cause?
Okay, I'm
Like,
missing.
Well,
how
I
many of
don't-
you
Hold
love-
on.
How many of you hate me?
Hold on.
Yeah.
The slow one is here. I'm trying to get a strike for cause. Why would you want to strike somebody
I wouldn't.
who says they know you and they like you?
I wouldn't. Are
No,
you kidding?
no.
I said I want to climb in bed with them. Are you
Okay,
kidding? I
so
want to
what
live
happened-
on.
Yeah.
So who has to ferret out the fact that they know you and love you? The
Prosecutor.
opposing
Yes.
prosecutor?
Of course. They have to scrape the veneer. They have to look underneath. And that's what you get a little,
You make
What?
law fun.
well,
My
I
dad was a
try to,
lawyer.
but I've had many people come up to me after trials and say, that's the most entertainment I've ever had. Wow. And then I hand my card out, and of course, that's why we have a
Maybe we could get
huge
Judge
law
Peg
practice.
to allow me to put some microphones and then we could record this stuff, you know?
Well, their mics are there. If you want to watch my
Do you
exploits,
know
you
the
can.
#1 show over Oprah everything? Judge Judy
Judy.
makes
Well, yeah.
over $80 million a
And she's
year.
Yeah,
This
but
is a
she's
fact.
great. Are you kidding?
She's
She's
pretty,
wonderful.
too.
Why is she wonderful?
Well, because she's what they call a good judge. We have.
And she's
I'm just
fine?
saying. I'm getting ready to
Hold
have.
on, benevolent, you mean, or what do you mean?
No, it's called fair. It's fairness. It's obvious that she already knows the script. Everybody has a script, Rhett.
Yeah.
You may think it's extemporaneous, but it isn't. It's scripted. Every bit of
Well,
it.
that's
From
what
the
I
tier.
need.
Yes.
I need some writers in here, and then I could just deliver it.
Well, yes, and of course you do have a writer every day, Rhett. It's called your brain, and
I want to bring something up.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the juries and so on.
yeah.
Well, I had the fortunate opportunity to be with F. Lee Bailey.
Oh,
And
You were.
yeah, he used to come into my restaurant and eat there every day and everything. And he was really down to earth. Most people don't know it. He sent himself to school. He picked tomatoes at a farm and everything. And one of the things we were talking about, he is so educated that when he was at the courtroom in which I sat in on, he invited me to go with him. And I went, and after I listened to him, the jury didn't understand what he was saying because he was in New Mexico and the people were not as educated as he was.
Right.
So he spoke over their
You
head.
can't do that.
So I know, but this was a mistake he was. So
But
we
you
came-
told him that.
I told him,
You told
yeah.
him, do
So
it
we
now.
came back.
Don't speak over their head, speak to their face.
So he came back to the restaurant and we were having dinner together. And I said, you know, I got to tell you this. He said, I spoke to the one of the jurors and they said they didn't understand one word you were saying about this case.
Yes.
And I said, I'm not allowed to really tell you about this. I said, speak their language.
Yes, you have to.
Knock it all the way down.
Yes.
Use little words.
Yes,
I said,
little
they
tiny.
would understand you.
But you are this guy right here, Fromang. He's very intellectual, and sometimes he says a lot. Every day he'll say something that I have to go. Do I interrupt him and ask him what the heck that meant, or do I just like what did you come in today? He came rumbling down the hallway when he got this morning. What did you say?
All I said to you that you hazard all in hope of fair advantage.
Now what the heck does that mean?
But
we want to know.
a good lawyer
Now, hold on.
would judge the jury
Hold on.
and play to them
Yes.
instead of playing, showing how smart they are.
No, you don't do
Sometimes
that.
you're too smart
No.
to lose the case.
No.
He lost the case.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. All I'm saying to you is that when you walk into a jury in a criminal case, now in a civil case, I'm different, completely different. But in a criminal case, I take on a very different attitude, almost as if, how dare this, whatever that is sitting over there. And by the way, one time I called the 2 state attorneys. By the way, they don't bring one. They always bring 2 state attorneys to do a trial against me. 2, sometimes 3. I'm not kidding you. 3.
That's not normal. I mean,
No, it's not.
Oh, wow.
It's not. They bring 2 or 3 state attorneys because most of the time I'm where they never have been, never could be, and never will be.
It's called a balcony approach. Yeah, they
Yes.
take 2. One's listening while the other one's preparing. And
Yes,
you give-
yeah, balcony, right. I would call it mortar and pestle, but to be that as is. But I had one. I looked at him.
Mortar and what?
Mortar and pestle.
What
Yeah.
the heck is pestle?
If you were an old, if you're an
mortar.
apothecary, you have a bowl, and you got this thing that you beat on the nuts
Yes.
and the roots. You know,
Yes. What
Okay.
is that?
mortar and pestle. But anyway, to get back,
How does he know all this?
I called these two lawyers, I looked at them. This jury was very grim and grave because my clients, they said, had tried to import some cocaine. And they had the cocaine, they had everything, but what they didn't have were any good witnesses. They had a bunch of what I call pebbles. And so I looked at the jury. Venari is 150 of them there. And I turned to the state attorneys who had just been talking to him for 2 hours. And I said, I don't know how I'm going to deal with jumping dragon and leaping lion over there, but I'm going to try my humble self right now to ask you a few questions that perhaps might enlighten not only myself, but maybe some of your brethren sitting beside you. And I said, by the way, you, Miss Jones, you played the crossword puzzle of the New York Times this morning, and the one going across midway you couldn't do. And she looked at me and said, how do you know that? You don't know me. Well, the reason is because I just guessed, and I guessed right. And people will come back to me afterwards and go, oh, Stephen, how did you do that? And it's called guessing. But if you do this for 40 years, guys, body language, like Joe, the way you're sitting right now,
Yeah.
I would choose you because you seem to be open and you want to hear both sides of the story. Yes. Or the woman that comes in there sneering and drooling venom. And I think to myself, wow, her husband's got a real tough job today, and mine's going to be tougher if I pick her. Right. So, of course, you don't.
And there's also reading cues on body language.
And everything. Yes.
NLP, neurolinguistic.
And where they work is important too.
Yeah.
You find people that have jobs that are absolutely oozing with, please pick me.
Right.
Please pick me. Grocers, people work in grocery stores. I always grab retired police officers if I can grab them.
Where do you grab them? This could be illegal.
Yes. Because they have, as I told you, Joe, they have the nerve of the Nemean lion. Yeah. They will stand up to the person saying, I think he's guilty, and say, are you kidding? I did 50 of these in New York, and they're not guilty. This looks like, seems like, smells like, but it isn't.
Well, about bringing up body language, you had a guest on your show a couple of days ago that I was listening to.
Yes.
And he did he was the one who captured terrorists and so on. And his whole segment was about body language on your show, not a few days ago.
Well, it's another moment from Larry.
So, but
okay, what are we trying to say?
No, really. But the show was very interesting to me about body language. And just like the attorney just says, he sizes people up by the body language. And that man said when he interviewed terrorists and so on, and he watched their every movement.
You have to.
And this is what told him when they were lying and when they were telling the truth. I found that show very interesting.
Yes.
And I think but anyway, body language is very important.
Speaking of body language, Sparky says we got to take a break. So we're going to continue on here with a little bit of Larry's favorite song, and then we'll be back. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai.
It's like Jersey. A lot of times you'll meet people and they say, Dad, he's not a good person. And I said, how do you know that? He said, he sizes them up by just looking at him.
I will say this way, if you got some time. Monday, I'm picking words, no problem.
It's Greek mythology. It's a fictitious Greek lion that was killed by Hercules.
It amounts to this.
It's fake.
But it does know.
My client, some years
I
ago.
think he'll learn just a few of these things that sound really bright. It's the nerve of the Nemean lion. What the hell is he talking about today, Georgia?
You have the nerve of the Nemean lion.
Yes.
Wow.
This eye right here is buried right there, buried. So I don't know what she sees out of this one, but this one she's okay with. And I can see that through time and space, her growing up, her going, she was always, you know, nobody really wanted to deal with her because it's hard looking at somebody when their eye is stuck. This one's okay, but this one's, it's just hard.
It
Right?
is.
So she's accused of stealing $200 because it's off a credit card. But the story, we have 3, maybe 4 stories now. And anytime a state attorney's got that many stories, they got trouble. They just do. And so that's what the trial will be about. Juxtaposing, putting side by side the story, and then showing, compare and contrast where they fit and where they don't. And the state attorney, because she has so many cases, she hasn't had the time to make what I call an intelligent assessment. So she's going to literally hand me a plate of food and let me eat it right in front of that jury. Imagine a lady swearing a certain thing. That cup's there. And you got another person just as swearing, the cup's over here.
Now, do you get paid a flat fee to take on cases from the state? Like they pay you $3,000 a month or $1,000 a month? Or is this individual representation?
You walk
coming to your firm seeking
I walk on to.
Someone comes
I walk with happy.
First thing I do is make an assessment. How will this play if I have to go to a trial? Every time, if it's criminal, civil, different ballgame, completely different. But criminal, all I got to do is show that little teeny bit of doubt.
No, I ain't got a lot of
tiny bit. As I tell the jury, the Bernard Corinth, I said, has anybody ever heard about a mustard seed in the Bible? They talk about the mustard seed. And one will wave their hand, and she's a Bible girl. And sometimes if I see there's an English major, I'll talk about various poets and poems and things.
So you connect.
Very much so. Just like the lady with that New York Times, I absolutely guessed that. I just guessed it. But there it was. And she was acting like I had somehow foiled and watching. But
So you have the I was the first.
Yeah, that's it. I call it that. Yes. Yes, but you gotta have it. You gotta feel it. And
what?
Was that the song that he played?
No, he did the Steve Romang song.
Oh, and I want that song. That was a good little ditty, wasn't it?
Which one?
The Steve Romang song.
So we'll scrap it.
No, we'll do another one at 9:30.
Try to get it at 9:30.
What we're doing now, we got 5 minutes now?
I can't.
Let's do it. A short segment is the most important.
They're putting, let me tell you what they're doing with your competitors. If you really want to know. What? They're putting hour and 2 hour segments. They're sending to everybody. People are listening to it. So I want to be able to get you the exposure.
Okay, we're back on the air. This is the mayor of the airwaves. We have Councilor Fromang here today. We have Joseph Sempravivo and his responsible father.
Pater Noster.
What's that?
Pater Noster.
Pater Noster. What does that mean?
That's Latin for our father.
Yeah, hold on. Pater Noster.
Yeah, Pater
Noster.
Noster.
Learn all this stuff.
Come on. That's because he didn't have any toys when he was little.
Yes, that's right. Are you kidding? They handed me a Bible
his
and
daddy
said,
gave
read
lots
it.
of books to read.
Yes, well, the Bible is what I used to read.
Pater Noster. He spanked me on my derriere.
There you are. Hello. Here we go. But yes, as we were talking about Cruz and Trump and all of that.
You mean Tom Cruise?
Yes, the little fella that he is. Edge of Tomorrow, I call him.
Little fella.
That little fella. Edge of Tomorrow.
Little fella there on the movie
Cruz,
screen.
I really think that Cruz has a chance to, if his message continues to be that of liberation over subjugation, that I don't see how Sanders can bring a crowd of 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people, and all he says is, I'm envious, are you envious? And they scream, yes. I want to loot and plunder the storeroom, how about you? And they scream, yes. I assure you that those people will always be there, and the only thing that keeps them at bay, the only thing that keeps them away from our door is us. We are the ones that must stand up and say no. Otherwise, you're going to get bulldozed and run over by what I call the miscreants.
You know what's amazing about Cruz? He can meet you and 3 weeks later see you again and remember your name, will hug you, give you a warm welcome. He's just a
Good talent.
And he's just a regular man.
Yeah.
He's not
You know,
pompous like
when I picked,
someone else that
when I
I know.
Well,
that's
that's because
running
he
for
eats
office.
he eats his foliage.
say who?
He said he's a regular man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's just like one of us.
Yeah.
Even though he's so intelligent in his position, but he's still a regular guy that can remember you, can even mention your family, your
Yes.
kids' names.
You know,
How could you remember all that?
well, you do. I tell you how. Because
Oh, it's a
when I
Larry
pick
moment.
juries,
Not again.
well, anyway, when I pick juries, I make it a point to, as I'm talking, I say, Mrs. Jones, she likes that. I look over, I say, Mr. Thomas, he likes that.
That's right.
And as I start working the Venari, asking this question, I say, well, Mr. Jones says that, but Miss Smith, you seem like you don't agree. I don't agree with that. Could you tell me why, Miss Smith? And I orchestrate a talking amongst the jurors so I can see how they will discuss
Right.
the case back there.
You look at their faces and you could tell by just
Yes.
your facial. You know, I met an attorney and I fortunately I sat in on a couple of cases with him, and I watched one day he was taking photographs of his client who had an injury, and he got lipstick and he put it on the scars, and he took a photograph. Now, when the fellow went into court, he wore a black glove and he had the arm covered. Okay, so now nobody knows what's under the wraps. So he shows this horrible picture with the red lipstick on there, and the jury goes, "Oh!"
Yes.
Now he's looking for a big amount. So one of the juries shout out, "Oh, you poor baby," to the guy that's testifying who got hurt.
Yeah.
And I look at the lawyer, and he knew he had them then.
Yes.
So they went in the back room, and the judge said, "I think you ought to settle this case." And sure enough, they came back with a handsome settlement within minutes,
Yes.
and they settled because this guy played it. And sometimes you have to do something
Larry.
a little bit of
Yeah, that's true, Larry.
losing there.
But I can tell you that for about 15 years, I had the record for the fastest jury verdict in
Wow.
a major felony case. I had one case where the guy had 14.
We gotta take a break, then we'll be back, all right? We gotta take a break.
Right.
All right. Sorry for the interruption. Counselor Froman.
Hello.
How long is the next segment that we have?
Well, however long we want it. How long do you want it? There'll be no music, no nothing. We'll just play. Just to
Yeah, good,
please.
good.
and
I want you to
promote.
be engaged. Have fun.
I am. I got a ring.
So you're going to bring up Cruz again for the next segment or what?
Yeah.
No.
I don't
Yes.
I'm not
Oh,
passionate about it. I lost my edge.
well, get
No,
it
you haven't.
back.
No, you haven't.
Ooh.
No, you haven't.
Well, you
It's
think
just-
it might
it's
have
just-
been-
may I
it
just
might
say
be
this?
redundant?
Or lying.
Discretion is imposition's tutor.
I think it might be redundant
What'd you
because you
say?
did it once already. Is that it?
Indiscretion.
Discretion is imposition's
You say
tutor.
with radio,
What the heck is
the
that?
repeat, like when you're
Say that.
doing television, every
Right.
10 minutes
Say it
you
again.
should do a repeat.
Discretion
When I was on
Okay.
QVC, because
This
listeners.
discretion
is
So-
imposition's tutor.
is.
So, I don't know, we'll,
I don't know.
Well,
What does that mean?
maybe
Okay,
we-
discretion.
Go
be
with your
discreet.
gut, Joe.
No,
Because I
discretion
understand
means
it has to
that
be
I
really
have,
good
I
if you
can,
wanna
I,
send
I gotta be.
I got discretion, I can
first,
present.
I think you ought to do a recording of
I
it
can do
yourself
that.
with him.
I have different ways I
Send
can
out
do
so
it.
no one
I don't want it to be, I also don't want. it
Sip
to be
the
rehearsed.
coffee.
I want it to
I
be
have discretion, I
say
can do it any
spontaneous.
way.
I'm doing a 2-hour show tomorrow.
Imposition
with a million- with
is
a
an
million
intrusion.
listeners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So,
you
Discretion
gotta
would
cover that.
be,
I
I'm
wanna be able to
holding back and not imposing at this point. So discretion is my tutor as to when I should impose and inject.
This makes perfect.
So instead of saying all of that,
Listen, I'm
you
your
just say
backbone.
discretion is imposition's tutor.
I can't help you.
We gotta
Get
get
that
up.
winky out.
What?
Don't forget, you're on YouTube right now.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
we are on YouTube. Yes, and so it was. have a large fund of it, but not right this second.
2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. Sparky said 2.5 minutes.
Say who? Yeah, please. Yeah, I know a couple of them. Let me just say this. I hate this. I hate this guy. This guy right here is the same guy that will literally cut your throat and then say, golly gee. This case again. This ass.
Or is that moment of clarity when you realize you've got to clear out the garage or attic, or finally start that bit of remodeling? Well, the Habitat Home Center Restore can help with that. You can donate your unwanted but still useful stuff, just bring it to us, or we'll come and pick it up. When you're shopping for other stuff, be sure to check out the Home Center Restore first. You might just find the perfect sofa or perhaps some lovely cabinetry. It's always exciting hunting for treasure at the Home Center Restore, and the prices are great. So put the Home Center on your must-do list to donate and to shop. And remember, when you shop or donate, you help Habitat provide simple, decent homes for families in need right here in Indian River County. For your convenience, we're now open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our newest one, Vero Beach, just north of 45th Street, East Side, or 257-002. Habitat Home Center is a not-for-profit.
Regal Paint Design Centers includes Vero Beach.
Okay, gentlemen.
11 locations throughout Florida.
Yep, 1 minute.
Rely on Regal Paint
1 minute.
featuring Benjamin Moore. They choose only the best experts and they assist you in any projects. From floors to ceilings, you're 100%.
You'll have to come over and stand with me again.
Primers, lacquers, solvents, interior, exterior paint, brushes, rollers, covers, painting tools,
Now you have to lean right in here, close, when you say this.
Just call 1-877-2.
Not too close.
Ah,
Got a lady here.
oh, ensconced, I call it.
All right.
I think we've spoken well about Cruz.
Oh,
here
God,
today.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna do the cruise segment.
Huh?
We're gonna do the cruise segment now? Okay, we're gonna have to wait on this. You can stand here, but we're gonna talk about cruise, and then we'll do this, after we get done, we'll do this.
Is that one of your customers?
So, in the magazine, they buy the back
Oh,
page.
okay.
Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
But the new guy canceled my show a year ago. How stupid.
Yeah.
You already heard what happened when you mentioned, yeah, okay. All right, we're talking about Mr. Cruz today. Will he be the next president of the United States? We have Joseph Sempervivo, and here he is the CEO of Joseph's Cookies, 12 million cookies made a day. So he is a businessman. We have his father, Larry. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Rhett.
Okay, at the age of 40, you were, no, 50. You were
50
selling
years old.
eggs door to door.
Okay.
You had some things happen, you failed, bankruptcy, came back, and now, well, you've got your Rolls Royce and your Bentley, you're doing okay. And that's what America's all about. We also have Councilor Fromang in here. And the only reason I bring up those things, Councilor Fromang, is to let the American people know that they have a valid voice. I love people that have had troubles and then come back from that. Cruz, why is your son so adamant? Joseph, why are you so sold out on Cruz?
Well, I believe in Cruz because, one, I'm a father of soon to be 6 children, and I want to leave a better future for my kids. Number 2, I'm a business owner. I'm a small business owner, and that's, we're responsible for creating 66% of the jobs in the United States. Small business owners.
66%.
66%
or more.
And one of the things that I look at as a business owner is I'm burdened. 36 hours of my week goes to government paperwork. Taxes inflates the price of my products, and globally makes me less competitive.
Yes.
So I want a better tax system. And Cruz's message is resonating with the American people as well as with business owners like myself. Because what I realize is a couple of things. If you do a flat tax of 10%, like Cruz, that's Cruz's plan. You do a flat tax of 10% for individual earners making more than $36,000 a year, then they're going to have a higher disposable income compared to that 18, 25, 35 or 36% income tax bracket.
Correct.
So they're going to have more money in their pocket. If you make $35,000 a year and you have 4 children, family of 4, you pay 0 income tax on that. Cruz also says, hey, look, for business owners, the income tax is going to be a 16% income tax, a flat tax on your business. If you export, if you're a United States company and you export to Mexico or to any other country, and you're building that product in the United States, 0% income tax. Why? It incentivizes small businesses like myself to export. I make cookies. I buy my ingredients from the United States. It's made in the United States. We support the United States. We're employing people, giving benefits, and we're getting those. We're getting our product. Now we're being incentivized to ship to foreign countries who don't have the same regulations, who have lower taxes, because the United States is the highest tax country now in the United States. And this creates a level playing field.
Is Mr. Cruz for Obamacare?
No, a matter of fact, he filibustered. He had a vision knowing that Obamacare was going to become a catastrophe. And Cruz's plan was simple. Look, we don't need 3,000 pages of legislation, Cruz said. All we need to do is make your health insurance portable from employer to employer.
Correct.
It can cross state lines. So you could go out as a company or as an individual and out of the 50 states, find the best Blue Cross Blue Shield policy that meets your needs, or any United Healthcare, or any other policy, Presbyterian, all across the U.S. If you live in a state now, you may have a choice of 1 insurance carrier. That's it. Maybe 2 if you're really lucky. Under Cruz's plan, you can get 30 different people bidding on your insurance. You know what that's going to do? A $1,500 policy can go down to $200-300 in a month.
Quickly.
Now, let's say about affordability. Somebody who's working really hard, they can't afford the $300 a month. So that's why Cruz says, wait a minute, you're going to be on a 10% income tax. You're making $50,000 a year and you can't come up with that $300. Instead of paying $12,000 to the IRS, you're paying $5,000. I'm freeing up. Cruz's plan is I'm freeing up $7,000 approximately a year. That's $600 a month. So you could pay your health insurance now by shopping across state lines, getting the best price, and you could have extra cash in your pocket for food, rent, mortgage payment, whatever. So that's his plan, and that's why, as a business owner, I love it. Yes. I love him because I know, 12 million jobs are going to be created from his plan. I'm going to be able to export. I could really focus aggressively on exporting and growing my business, thus employing more people and getting more people back to work.
I understand he's also going to save Social Security. For a guy like me, 81 years old, am I still going to get my check? But under Cruz, I believe I will.
Of course you will. He's not touching anybody that's on Social Security.
No. I think that's very important.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I do too. What's it? 96% of all Americans will retire having need of some governmental help, meaning it's not really governmental help. It's their money. They put that in there. It should have been untouched.
Well, here's why. I mean, with his staying focused on taxes and the economy, why his tax plan is so critical. Now you're a senior and you're like, look at my dad as an example. You're at home. You want to file your taxes. Now you're hiring, a CPA firm and you're filling out all the paperwork. A lot of times, nobody understands. You could your whole life be a CPA and not understand all the 70,000+ pages of tax law. Yeah. There's no way to do it. And so now under Cruz's plan, it's simplified. You do it on a postcard.
Yes.
So every single senior in this country, every person in this country could file their taxes on a postcard.
Oh, come on. How can you reduce it to a postcard?
It can be done. It's
simple. If I earned $100, I send in $10. I'm done.
Well, no. If you earned $100, you pay $0.
Well, I understand, but I'm just using it as only 10%.
Right. But so the reality of it is, Cruz will ultimately boom with jobs in the United States. He'll create jobs. He'll reduce the burden on small businesses with less paperwork for taxes, less paperwork for regulatory, on the regulatory side of things. He'll empower the American people, and he gives us hope. He'll enable me, and this is another aspect of the tax reduction. I would actually be able to reduce the cost of my products to the stores.
Yes.
Right now, my cookies sell for $1 a bag in Dollar Tree and Dollar General across America. But I would be able to even further incentivize the stores by lowering their prices, because I would have more revenue at the end of the year, because I keep it for myself rather than cutting a check, giving it to the government.
And also less paperwork.
A lot less paperwork, because that frees me up to gain more sales for the business.
Yeah,
and this will be effective across the country.
Yeah, you're being actually smothered in red tape.
Absolutely.
Right now. If you have a factory or a factory floor, which I guess you do.
Yes, right.
Your production, what you find is when you go through the litany of federal and state and local law and regulation, it's almost incomprehensible, and very few people engage in it. I'm telling you, Joe, you are one of the few that's actually out there actually screaming and saying, we need freedom. We don't need more enslavement. Let's get rid of the whip and chain.
Absolutely right. And that's the thing that, as an employer, I always had a hard time finding employees. My factory's in Deming, New Mexico. And where I saw a real big boom was when welfare to work got put into place. And that means if you were on welfare, you had to transition off of welfare over a 5-year period, or you lost all your benefits. So what happened is we couldn't find anybody in this town.
But didn't most wait till the 5 years was the jig was almost up, so to speak?
Well,
So
yeah, what happened, it was a transition. Every 2 years, everybody got off of welfare over this time period. And so what ultimately happened, I couldn't find people to work because they were on the government dole, making $50,000+ a year.
I mean, you actually had somebody tell you, I would make more money.
Yeah, I was told that numerous occasions by people. I make more staying home watching television.
Yeah.
And I was like, how is that even possible? They said, well, when you look at all the benefits, I make over $50,000 a year. Why would I come to work even making $49,000 or $50,000
and lose those benefits?
And lose those benefits. So here's the thing: the welfare to work program will be reestablished by Cruz because it sunsetted. It went away under Obama's administration. Clinton and Gingrich created welfare to work. Obama took it away. So if you're on welfare, you can stay on it for the rest of your life. Cruz will implement a welfare to work again so people can go back to jobs. So why is this important? Because we hear the argument of illegal immigrants coming into this country, stealing American jobs. Well, guess what? Cruz has a fix for that. We don't have to be nasty. We don't have to attack race. We don't have to do any of that by disincentivizing people to come over. We free up the people on welfare to be empowered to have a job, number one. Number two, sure, we build the border wall. We increase immigration. But like Cruz says, people go under the wall, they go over the wall. So what we need to do is disincentivize anyone from the globe coming to the United States illegally by saying there's no more Social Security benefits for you. There's no more welfare. There's no more WIC. There's no more food stamps. And there's no more coming to the United States and having a baby in the United States and getting the baby getting U.S. citizenship. That day is done unless you come here legally. That's the only way that you would be excused.
Well, I would say really reduce the deficit and everything in the country.
All right, we continue our conversation when we return with Joseph Sempervivo. He is the CEO of Joseph's Cookies, 12 million cookies a day being produced, and he and his dad, quite a tale. By the way, what's the title of your new book?
It's Madness, Miracles, Millions.
All how, so Larry, you were actually went bankrupt and at the age of 50 had to sell eggs door to door, but you're not selling eggs door to door anymore.
No.
So only in America. This is the mayor of the airways. Got to take a break. We'll be right back. It's not over yet.
I was saying to say your name from the Rhett Palmer show.
Your summation was great. I wish everybody could hear that.
This was good, this segment.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Yeah.
If you want, what we can do, let's do a normal thing now for the next 50 minutes. At 10 o'clock, we'll stay on after the news. Then we'll do another segment. Then we got 3 tries out today.
You liked it better than the first?
Yeah, good job. We're going to try one more. Right now, we're just going to have fun again. But then at 10 o'clock, we're going to do it one more time.
Let's do
and
it
stay
from
on
now
the-
until, if we can, now to 10, but what I want to bring up a couple
The whole
things.
thing again?
Not the whole thing.
No, just a little
Let's do
bit.
that at 10 and we'll
Okay.
record it at 10.
Okay, gotcha.
But then you can still send it in, but it's not
Thanks
there.
for telling me more than 5 minutes before 10 o'clock that you want to do 10 to 10:30.
All you do is unplug it, right?
I love how he thinks that all I do is just unplug something.
So what do you have to do?
I have to rebuild your whole half hour. I have to put your open in, a spot block, gather spots and get it in there. It takes about
Don't
5
put that
minutes.
Would it be
pressure on
better
yourself.
if
You
you
don't-
just finish it right now?
No.
No,
Excuse
you
me,
can
Larry,
do it now.
excuse me, Larry, I'm talking to my employee. Okay, so to take the burden off of you, no, we don't have to do that. That would be nice if you got more, if it's too tight for you, then we just go without commercials for half an hour.
No. If you tell me now that I have a half an hour, I can do that.
Okay.
Just yesterday when you did this to me, you told me like 3 minutes before you wanted to do it. And I have to go get
And
the
if you
other
ever
video.
do that, then you don't have to, because we don't play ads during Doc
Yeah,
Talks anyway.
he wasn't thanking you sarcastically, he was thanking you.
No.
saying, Thanks a lot
Sincerely, thank
letting-
you for
giving me enough notice.
Yes, giving
is what
me
he
enough
was saying.
time to get this done instead
okay.
of when you tell me 3 minutes beforehand, I have to scurry and grab the open, put
Yeah,
it in,
so
go
he
to
was
spot.
Oh, I
block.
see, I thought he was, okay.
No, I'm being serious, sincere. That thank you for letting me know that you
Right.
want to do that
I got
earlier.
it now.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you for thanking me.
He's very proud. He wants to be able to do his job.
He does.
But it was good that you followed up with him with the information, and then you had
But he
a
doesn't
positive
have to.
outcome. You had a positive outcome because of communication.
And
rather
just a
than-
reminder, Rhett, remember when you do 10 to 10:30, the news break doesn't start till 31.
So then there was no anger, frustration. You communicated, and it became clear communication as
Oh,
well.
communication is an important factor.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Dr. Olenek at dinner last night said he's already gotten good results from the magazine and the radio show. So he doubled what he's spending with us, which we really need.
But isn't that interesting? His nurse said, don't bring the magazine in.
I'll text him.
Yeah,
what's
because
up with that?
there's nothing there to read, and you wait for 2 hours. Mhm.
Don't bother bringing the magazine in. Yeah, that sounds like she has a personal ex there.
That's very possible, yeah.
Well, he and I have become good friends.
Right, you don't have to fit this in today.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are,
okay.
definitely. I know, sweetheart. I know I don't have to, but I want to.
Mhm. So you will get a chance to see the taping of the town hall.
I have it in every day I get an email, with everything that he's on,
Mhm.
with the time and the date going into the future.
We'll be coming back in 20 seconds. I believe the senior Super Evo is in the restroom, so he may be joining you mid-segment.
Everything up until Tuesday, I know. Cruz will be on Good Morning America. He'll be on with Anderson Cooper. All this is coming up. And then I get the actual recordings of the show so I can
His
watch it.
wife,
Yeah, Heidi.
she's the first lady, Steve.
All right, this is the mayor of the airwaves. Councilor Fromang is in here today. He's always a delight, stretching the proverbial spring of my intellect. Thank you, Mr. Fromang.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Rhett, with Joe and his dad, Larry.
Great.
And of course, the concierge. Hello, concierge.
Hello, concierge. How are you, Beverly?
Hello, I'm having so much fun listening to you guys.
Also say hi to, of course, Joseph Sempervivo over in the left-hand corner here.
Oh, Joseph, I loved your summation of Cruz.
Yes,
Cruz.
yes, as they say, pass the coochie to the left-hand side.
And by the way, she is our guest counselor, or
Yeah.
concierge, excuse me, her guest counselor.
Yeah.
You're the counselor, she's the
No,
concierge.
no, I'm concierge.
Now, you volunteer at the hospital, and would you mind reading the stats here of the volunteers that make a difference in our
Oh,
community?
yeah.
All right, this is the week to celebrate all the volunteers. There are more than 422 volunteers at the Indian River Medical Center. Now,
Wow.
the hospital is all life and death, right? But it's
Yeah.
mainly life because people are healing there. And they're healing because the volunteers are taking the burden off of the nurses, the doctors. And it's extraordinary how many volunteers are doing the various jobs. And what I really like is the patients are so pleased with the fact that the person is spending hours there of their free time, no money, just as a volunteer. And I'm a patient advocate, and I go and visit the room, and I listen. And you talk about listening, Joe. and it's very important. People are lonely, they're in that room, but they
Yes.
love the fact that the rooms are private. They get a lot of attention, and I always ask, are you being treated very well? And they said, absolutely wonderful. They said the nurses are so attentive and always there. So I'm very proud to be a volunteer. And the person who's in charge is Maureen Luther. She manages more than 500 volunteers.
Amazing. So 422 adult volunteers gave 69,848 hours last year.
Yeah.
78 teenage volunteers gave 4,649. Join the team 772-563-4533, celebrating National Volunteer Week. Let's have a round of applause for our volunteers.
Yes, absolutely.
Sincerely.
My,
all the volunteers throughout this whole community.
Yes.
When you walk in there and you see those pink outfits and you're there to visit your dad or your mom or something, or you have an advocate when you go into the emergency room, let me tell you something. It makes a big difference.
Yes.
And you are celebrated. And if anybody hasn't said thank you lately, thank you.
Yes,
That's awesome.
thank you.
Absolutely.
My son is the one of the ER doctors, and he is always complimenting Graves, Stephen Graves Fromag, Dr. Stephen Graves Fromag is
takes after his uncle.
Yes, Dr. David. Yes, if you got trouble you want to call him Dave. Yeah.
The neurologist.
Yeah. Yeah. But my son said that the personnel and the help is absolutely almost unimaginable. The time that the volunteers take, it's almost as if they're treating themselves or their loved one, and the care and the love that is given at that hospital is extraordinary. And we are blessed to have the volunteers. And there's not a time that I don't, when I'm picking a jury, if I see people on there that I look on their dossier and they say they work at the hospital, I usually try to have them on my jury because I find them to be very contemplative and they will listen to what I have to say. Not so, I don't want them to listen to what they have to say, but I want to listen to what I have to say.
Right.
And it's wonderful to have that.
Well, we have a wonderful community here with volunteers.
Oh.
Just like Riverside Theater, they have 500 volunteers at that theater.
Larry, you've always got the positive word. You're simply amazing, Larry. Just simply amazing.
Godlike amity, love.
Larry's song, ladies and gentlemen. You know, actually, it's true, Larry. Whenever you've got something to say, it's always on a positive note. You know?
Uplifting.
Yeah.
Well,
uplifting.
Well, I look at it this way. My life was saved on 2 occasions, and I'm here to look at the positive things in life. You know, it's it's easy to curse. Well, this happened to me, that hurt. Forget that. Live every day as it comes.
My dad is like a necklace, a pearl necklace. Every day I get a pearl from him, just like a necklace has many pearls, and my dad offers many pearls to me every single day. It's pretty amazing. No matter what the topic is.
It's great to have a tight relationship like that.
Oh yeah, my mom and dad would come over and we sit on the patio at night after I'm done work, and we'll talk, and we if I have a question about anything in life, I ask my dad.
Larry, have you, I know that we've been working together on some projects.
Yeah.
But how about a book that is a gift? Maybe I could help you do this. I think we need to go out and do some recorded interviews, not with this whole other thing with the beginnings of the mafia.
No.
Not the Bear with No Hair, which is a great children's book, should be released. Why not a book of what Larry would say to his grandkids? A book for posterity. Why don't we think about that? Let's go out and have lunch together.
Okay, let's do it.
And
Sure.
let's do something like that. Because I asked my mom before I lost my mom, I said, would you please write down some notes in a book? She wrote down about 10 pages.
Oh, wow. That's great.
But she didn't really, it's not much. And
I
a little bit is like a gem. So imagine if I had 100 pages. Like just this morning, I was thinking about my grandpa Palmer in New York,
Right.
and he was so outgoing. He would get on the buses in New York, and he was a cute older guy. Had a little mustache, kind of like a Santa Claus without a beard. And he would go up, and I'll show you a picture of it. It's on Facebook. I just posted it today. He would go up and say, "Hey, You want a kiss? And then he'd pull out a candy kiss and give it to him on
Oh,
the bus.
wow.
And the girls loved it. Everywhere he went, he was like a positive light. What would I give now? And he always had a pen right in here in his shirt. And wore Jack, always dapper, always had a certain cologne that he wore. I mean, it's grandpa. And it was always, you know, gifts and stuff. And
Well, yeah.
we'd
my
go to-
grandkids call me
Yeah.
Pop, and I
see.
I
Now, if
always
they have a book, if I had a book by my grandfather, how I would cherish that. So
certainly
yeah,
would.
make that happen.
Well, it can happen. You
Yeah.
have to really sit down and work it. Like the kids call me Pop, and every day I tell them a story.
Yeah.
And there's always a moral to the story, and I reinforce love. And when I walk in that house, you think that I was a celebrity. Those kids could run to me, they hug me, and
They do that with me.
And they
Yeah.
and mind you, if I go in 10 times, I get the same reception.
Yeah.
Now, I want to see this. I will say this. I don't have to say this stuff. You guys are my friends already. I will say there's a gentleness about all of Joseph. Now, Joseph's about to have another child.
Yeah.
Any day now. Within the next 10 days, there will be a new little girl on this earth, your sixth child.
It's another one for me to love.
The other day, I noticed we were driving. I was on the phone with him asking him something, and we were talking some, I don't know, business or something. And they were coming back from the fair.
Yes.
And I noticed one thing. I was waiting for him to get aggravated. In the whole 20 minutes we were talking on their way home with the kids screaming and yelling this and noise and that noise and having fun, being children, he never got irritated, never rose his voice. He's committed to being, and I will say this about those grandkids. They have a gentleness, a gentility, you might say. They're all very tender-hearted. And I wondered, how does that happen? Why in some houses? I guess if they are given gentleness, they are gentle. If they're given love, they are loving.
Yeah,
That's right. They
true?
learn by example.
Exactly.
If you show love every day to each other, I kiss my son 100 times a day.
Yep.
The kids see that.
Yes.
And that's what they do.
Right.
Now, if he saw arguments and everything between us, he would be the same.
The enmity, right? Things
There
like
should
that.
be, I know Rhett will do it again, but I think love belongs at home.
Yeah.
Love each other.
That's where it starts.
Let's sing it together. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Thank you guys for coming today.
Yes.
Councilor Froman, thank you for
Yes.
being here. Larry Sempervivo, Joseph Sempervivo, and of course,
Bev.
Lee, our volunteer and
Hello,
our
Bev.
guest counselor.
Yeah.
Counselor,
Hi,
concierge.
Have a
You're
great
the best,
day.
Bev.
Oh, that was good. Mhm.
That was
I've
a-
been outlining their
a
book.
nice-
But actually, you can
Lovely
stick around.
Sunday.
You can all stick around if you want. We're going to do an extra half an hour today. You probably got to go.
Oh,
But anyway, we're going to talk. We're going to do that thing with cruises.
No problem.
I just was so impressed
Hey, counselor.
with Heidi Cruz last night.
Who? What? You know her?
Yeah.
She's just another loving person.
She's a nurse next door.
Who is she?
You could tell the way
I used to drop
he
barbecue,
interacted with the kids.
sandwiches
You
off.
need that.
Yeah,
It's
we
so
do.
wholesome.
Barbecue, I don't
Well, we'll
get
see
it
it.
anymore.
Oh, you
Hey,
take
Used to
we
see
don't make
he
it.
was
We're doing a
walking
show, don't forget.
through the door,
We're doing the 10 to
but he
10:30.
don't bring us
You
barbecue
don't need me.
anymore.
Well, I just don't have a place to make it.
Where are you going?
I'm going home.
We're using someone's facilities for that.
Nice warm seat.
You sit there, sit there. Keep it warm
Thank
for
you
me.
so much.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a nice plug.
Actually, we'll have you do it again at the end of this segment, but we're going to start off with Joseph and Cruz again.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I've
at
met
least it'd
so
be
many
on the air.
wonderful people at the hospital.
Yeah, are you kidding? Graves enjoys it.
Well, they're flat on their backs. They're very vulnerable.
Well, he runs into virtually from the ER, he sees it all.
Oh,
And his job is to be able to sort and glean, to extricate, and, all that
Is
stuff.
he on during the day or is he on evenings? Your son and your son.
They have shifts, and it's like
They're rotating.
yeah, and you don't know he can be daytime, nighttime,
Here, take this home for the
but it
kids.
is.
Take that to the kids.
Oh,
Open that up. Open that up.
Oh! Oh my God!
Oh my
God,
You think they're going to kick out of it?
Oh my God.
they will.
Okay.
Oh my God! Oh, thanks for. Oh my God!
Oh, Giovanni's gonna love that.
Oh goodness gracious me! That is so clever.
Oh, that thing's finally leaving my office. Thank God somebody's taking it.
How do you feel it? Oh, yeah. It's
Oh, my, oh, jeez.
Just tell the kid there's candy kiss inside.
Steve, how
So he
long
opens
has
it really
been
quick to
there?
get it.
How does it go in?
I think it's coming up on a
I think
year,
you have to lift to push it back.
but he also does Mark
No, I don't
Memorial.
It seems to be jammed.
This
You
place
had the toy for
pays
I
him
didn't do
$40
nothing.
less an hour.
I didn't break nothing.
But since he lives here,
We're not going back.
I'll convince the rest.
it'd be different if he needed,
Piece of cheese.
but he don't need that.
Yeah,
So
He won't go in.
he just shows up
He
just
wants
to
just
help.
hang around.
that's a
Oh,
good job.
there he's with the
Making
Hard
tough
job.
Decisions.
No, his
The rat's scared of me
ability,
when I reach for him.
No,
and
he
he's
has
going
my
away.
that
dad, I
magic
had a
touch.
gentleman come in yesterday,
Oh, wow.
That's
about 6 o'clock.
why I took the confirmation
Where
name
the hell
Francis.
is-
I have control
And-
over animals.
Where the hell did he get this?
I have no
Was
clue. It
talking
was sitting
with
in here
my
for the longest
associate,
time, and
And I
I
walked
tried to
in the
remove
room.
as many distractions out
He
of
said
this room as
hello.
This
possible.
is so
And-
clever.
I was getting ready to walk out of the room,
Oh, my God.
and he says, by the way, he says, I just want to tell
He
you
must know
that
somebody
your
who did
dad
it.
saved my life. I said, what? He
I
said,
love
yeah.
it.
The
And then
box
he
is
told
easy to
me
make.
this
That I can
incredible
do.
Yeah.
I
story.
just don't know how he
Uh,
gets
Well,
the
it's just
about
hooked
he
up
was
by a wire.
basically,
rubber rat
uh,
thing up there.
Three on a wire.
yeah,
You
some
could
kind,
do
something called
different
spinal
things, lizards and
meningitis.
different things besides
It's some
rats.
horrible
Oh, you a little
disease.
spider.
And,
Oh, that's big, scary.
it had been
Yeah.
misdiagnosed.
Trench.
That's what my
But
ex-girlfriend
he's a
wanted, a little
traveler.
clown that comes
So
out.
when he got
Oh,
to
that's-
I'll
Durham
get Pennywise.
from wherever he lives,
Oh, I love
he
this.
was
All right, let me go
desperately
check the
ill.
time and wrangle the
There's
hose.
a-
And Dad took one look at him and said, my God, you got spinal meningitis that fast. And over the course of the treatment, he was able to save this otherwise dead guy. And he was going on and on about my dad and stuff like that.
We only covered one issue, and that was
Oh,
taxes. We didn't.
So
You gotta
we-
come some more.
it's nice
Yeah,
to
we,
hear
we
that.
covered
Huh?
nothing
Saving a life.
else. So I want to be.
Not only one,
You should have made a
my
list
dad
of
saved
the issues
many.
that you
I
wanted to
should've.
There was
cover.
only 3 doctors here,
Oh, is that right?
only
Of course, I
3.
thought you covered about 4 or 5.
For
I
many,
covered,
many
I think, a little
moons.
bit on
Only 3
immigration,
doctors
but
here.
nothing could be communicated
You know, I
clearly. You know
tried to
what I
write
mean? Like, I want to be able to communicate.
Rhett.
We're going live now in 40 seconds, please.
Well, we're off the air, aren't we?
You ready? You seeing spots today?
Huh?
Maybe just a spot?
I did
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said, are you seeing spots today? Maybe just a spot?
I'll be back.
By the way, I like that idea. The instead of saying love, you have amore on your glasses.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes.
So here we go.
There we go. Remember, focus on Cruz, Mr. Palmer.
We'll talk about a stable dollar. We'll talk about immigration. We'll
Stable.
talk about, yep. The Federal Reserve. We'll talk about the Federal Reserve. Border benefits, immigration.
All right. Today on the Rhett Palmer Show. Good morning. This is Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves, celebrating, gosh, how many years now?
23, Rhett.
Good morning. This is the mayor of the airwaves. Another beautiful day in paradise. 23 years on the air. Going into 23 years.
Yes.
And my guest today, of course, is Councilor Fromang, is in here as my co-host today. Good morning, Councilor Fromang.
Hello, hello. Pleasure to be here, Rhett.
Our guests today are Joseph Sempervivo and Larry Sempervivo. They are the owners of
Joseph's Like Cookies.
Sold in dollar stores throughout America. Madness, Miracles, Millions is the title of the book, but they're not in here to talk about their book, Madness, Miracles, and Millions today. They're here to talk about Cruz. The two of them together, father and son, have gotten behind the Cruz campaign. I want to find out why. Okay, I would say number one people are concerned about with Mr. Cruz is this flat tax. Explain, please.
Yeah, well, actually, people have embraced his tax policy because Cruz wants to bring the 7 brackets down to 1. Cruz wants to unify the country, unify the taxpayers, and have a 10% flat tax. If you make $36,000 a year and and you're part of a family of 4, you pay 0. So that way, it's very pro-impoverished and gives you a chance to rebound and to grow and be a part of the economy. Individuals making more than $36,000 a year pays a simple flat tax. Whether you're making 100,000, 50,000, a million, you pay a flat tax of 10%. That way it's fair across the board for everyone. Now, if you own a business, you pay 16% tax instead of the high of 36%. So as you can see there, you have a 20% savings for every business in America. What I love about his tax system, though, is it incentivizes me, a manufacturer of cookies, to export to other countries. It incentivizes me as a manufacturer to keep my business in the United States. And the reason being,
how?
Well, the reason is if factories now are moving to Mexico, they get to realize a lower income tax in Mexico and then export lower wages, very little regulatory burden, and then they get to export to the United States for free. With Cruz's plan, if you're in the United States and you shut your factory down and you move it to Mexico or China or anywhere else, and then you try to export to the United States, you get hit with a 16% income tax. So every good, if you shut your factory down and you move there and you send your stuff back to the US, you get hit with a 16% income tax. So it disincentivizes the air conditioner manufacturer, Nabisco, and everybody else from leaving the United States. You want to keep your factory in the US. What does that mean for people?
Well, that will create a lot more jobs for Americans.
Yeah, I know Cruz's plan scores 4.9 million in job creation. I'm looking at it closer to 12 million because that's a direct relation to the tax cut, but then you have indirect employment that gets caused, which will push us to about close to 12 million.
Or more.
Then you look at GDP, his tax plan. I mean, if you look at gross domestic product in the United States, under Cruz's plan, it will be a 12.2% lift in gross domestic product. That's
which we need.
Which we need. And that's the United States actually producing more product. So his economic policies are huge. Why does that affect the everyday person? I talk to people all the time and they say, you know what, Joseph, I make $50,000 a year. So it's almost it's about $4,500 a month. And under the current tax system, I'm giving almost $12,000 to the IRS every year. I can't afford to live.
Money too. 12,000 crucial money.
The difference between food on your table and no food on your table.
You bet.
That's how critical it is. And I explain Cruz's tax plan, and I say to them, could you imagine having an additional you would have an additional
$7,000.
Yeah, about $7,200 a year, $600 a month extra in your pocket. That's the difference of paying your mortgage, paying your rent, buying groceries, paying your utilities. That's how it empowers the people, gives them more money.
And there'll be more disposable income to stimulate the economy.
Okay, let's talk about borders with Cruz. What is Cruz's policy on borders?
Cruz takes a completely different approach on borders. I love it. Besides the wall, building a wall, Cruz's argument, look.
So is he for building a wall?
Yes, absolutely. But he said, here's the problem. People go under, people go over. We've already caught plenty of tunnels. That's what I love about Cruz. He's a realist. So he says, he just doesn't do sound bites. We're going to build a wall and people are going to stop coming over.
What about when Trump says that the Mexicans will pay for it? He's going to cut off any, when people want to send money home, he's going to stop that. How do you stop that?
It's a mere soundbite. And what Cruz does is he deals with the realistic issues. And that's what he says is great. We'll build a wall. People are still going to go under and they're still going to go over.
El Chapo.
Yep. El Chapo is a perfect example, right? Yeah. So
I can tell you, if I was in Mexico, I'd be over the border.
Yeah. So
come hell or high water.
So now Cruz says let's incentivize legal immigration because we're a country of legal immigrants.
Yes.
Let's keep focused on that. And let's disincentivize illegals from coming over.
How do we do that?
So here's how we do it. Cruz says, besides building the wall, there's going to be no more welfare benefits to any illegal that comes over. Because right now, they do get welfare benefits.
Which is idiotic.
No more free medical.
Why do we do that?
No more.
We give welfare to people that aren't citizens.
Well, there's a whole reason behind it. But right now, let's focus on how we disincentivize illegals. So we end the free medical.
No free lunch.
We end the welfare. We end Social Security benefits, and people don't know this. You have small towns in New Mexico and Arizona that have
In New Mexico.
New Mexico and Arizona,
Yeah.
50, 80, 100,000 post office boxes, right? Or a mailbox on the US border. They do not live in the United States. These towns have 10,000 inhabitants. That's it. The rest are coming over from Mexico to collect their Social Security check, and then they go right back. Literally, this is happening in the United States right now. Cruz,
It's like no one has been in charge. It's like
Well,
it's almost like the Fox have been in charge of the
Cruz
hen house.
living in Texas has seen firsthand of the challenges of the border. Anyone else from a non-border state, they have no idea.
I'm surprised Bush W didn't do more because he has a ranch there.
Well, here's the thing. So Cruz says we'll build a wall. They're going to go over and under. So how do we disincentivize even further? So we're going to end the welfare benefits. We're going to end Social Security benefits, and children or people coming here for medical tourism just to have a baby to become a U.S. citizen and get Social Security for 18 years of that baby's life is done under a Cruz presidency. But we're going to open up our arms like we have since the founding of our country and welcome people into our great nation as legal citizens, and that's what we're going to do. So, and I believe that as well. So that's his immigration. That's his immigration policy.
Federal Reserve.
Oh, great point. So a Federal Reserve is private banks. It has nothing to do with the federal government. It's overseen by Congress, but it has nothing to do. It's private bankers sitting in a room making the decisions of the direction of our country. Cruz says a couple things. One, we don't know how much gold is actually in reserve. We have no idea in Kentucky, right? So he wants to audit the Fed. He wants to get down to
Step one, audit the Fed.
We want to know what do they really possess and what they don't possess financially. Number two, we have a currency that is, when it's strong, when our dollar is strong, it can be very beneficial to U.S. citizens. The way to keep our dollar at par, to keep it at $1, is you back it by a U.S. Asset. You back it by a dollar. You back that dollar by gold, and that's what Cruz wants to do. He wants to back it by an asset. Right now, our dollar bill is just merely paper or cotton. Right? It's just printed material.
Yes.
It's not backed by an asset. It's just an arbitrary number.
It's a promise.
Right. It's a promise to pay future debt. And the problem is that's catastrophic to the American economy. Because if that dollar...
And to a saver.
Yes, and to a saver. Your dollar becomes worth less. So Cruz's idea is let's back this by an asset like gold.
This is the mayor of the airwaves, Rhett Palmer. We're talking with Joseph Sempervivo, and along with my co-host, of course, which is Councilor Froman. We're talking about Cruz today. He is in Cruz's corner. He is the author of Madness, Miracles, and Millions. They were broke when Larry, his father, was only 50 selling eggs door to door. Well, they're not selling eggs door to door anymore. Only in America, 12 million cookies produced every day at Joseph's factory in New Mexico. You can buy them at every dollar store, right?
Yeah, every Dollar Tree, every Dollar General.
For actually $1.
Yeah.
All right, this is the mayor of the airways. Got to take a break. We'll be right back. It's not over yet.
So we could touch on spending, government spending, balanced budget.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, that was excellent.
That was good.
Well, we covered quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the balanced budget to know that,
Because then I can cover the REINS Act, which Cruz wants to create.
But that's the keeper we're going to keep. Right now, I'm going to have her do this to me again. I said she could do that.
Yeah. Can we finish this up of the last portion of the REINS Act and
then maybe edit it?
And Obamacare with insurance? No, this can be 30 minutes. It doesn't, there's no time limit on their part. They're putting up 1 hour and 2 hour radio shows on there.
Obama.
The
Obamacare and government spending.
Okay, hold on. Balance the budget, Obama, and what else? Government spending.
Yeah,
Health
government
insurance.
Yeah, health insurance with
Very
Obamacare.
interesting. Mhm.
how about inheritance tax? Is there anything about that?
You ever,
Saving Social Security.
if y'all ever gone out quail hunting?
In
I have,
Mexico,
yes.
a lot, they have done that.
What did they do? Cut out the ad
Well,
section? Cut out the ad section before
The
you go out?
concept is to throw stuff in the air.
We'll
and
cut
let
out
bird
the
run
ad
through it.
section to minimize it.
You'll do it yourself?
No,
With,
I'm not saying-
yeah.
With the jets that we have, they cost $45 million a piece. These jets, they're a lot. They're expensive. But you could bring the damn thing down with $100 bullet.
Yeah, true.
Okay, you got to hit it. You got to be able to hit it, but you bring it down $100 bullet. That's obvious. In order
does that
to,
mean? She
the
just said
next
that to
war
me.
we're
What does
going to
that mean?
have
True that.
will be a drone. and
She's
bot
agreeing.
war.
She's saying that
The
is
guy
true
will not
information.
be in.
Oh,
We're going to have
Like,
some
good job.
funky in
It's
a
like
jet flying. Yeah,
yep,
we'll
you're
have
spot
that.
on.
But
But-
you're gonna do is laser.
Who
said that.
I'm gonna
She's a sponsor of the show
have
that Kim,
my
the real
boys sitting
She
in a
loves
place
it. She loves it.
flying 1,000,000 drones
True.
Are we
that
on
are
live
this
now?
big
Oh, wow.
We're also on
that
Facebook.
that that have
Yeah.
a propulsion system, and we're going to flood the sky with it
Yeah.
and bring down the jet. I'm telling you, that's what's getting ready to happen. And Islamic State right now is working on a drone no bigger than that piece of paper there. That it carries a C4. C4 is an explosive.
Yes.
It carries a C4 explosive large enough
It's like
to blow a hole in our jet.
Yeah.
So we're gonna throw a $45 million jet against a $100 drone that's gonna bring us down. Doesn't make sense. So this asymmetric warfare, and that's the point that I think that we have a huge amount of money going to the Pentagon to buy stuff of an older era. You know what I mean?
Here we go.
Now this is a good ad that we're running here. This is Christopher's ad, but do we have the one where this is the mayor of the airways. We continue our conversation with Joseph Sempervivo. He is the CEO of Joseph's Cookies, 12 million cookies every day. We figure since 2/3 of Americans work for who? For the small businessman.
Yes.
We really want to promote better business for the small businessman. Now, Joseph, let's talk about your friend Cruz. You've been in his corner for quite a while now. He wasn't a personal friend before all this or anything, right?
No.
Why? What? Let's talk about the balanced budget. Do you know about his take on balancing the budget?
The only one that signed it.
Yeah, there's from a balanced budget standpoint, there's a couple things. One, Cruz believes that Congress needs to be responsible and accountable for their actions. So therefore, he says he wants to create a REINS Act when he becomes president that makes the congressmen and senators fully responsible and accountable for anything that increases their expenditures. Any major inducing expenditures on a regulatory standpoint, they become responsible and accountable.
Okay, so who's going to be the watchdog?
The people, because
Yeah.
now
What people? I haven't got time to do that. I'm running a radio show.
that's the key. When Congress is accountable and they vote on major cost increasing regulations, it has to go that message. There's a cool off period. They can't vote on it. That message goes to the people and it gives the people the time to respond. There are so many things. And here's the thing. When Cruz was outspoken about Obamacare, there wasn't that cool off period for all of us Americans to hear about it. Because when we do, we go after it. They did something very similar with the gun control. It got out to the people. And we kept on pushing, and Cruz kept on fighting for the Second Amendment. He kept on fighting for it. And what happened in the Senate, it got out. They couldn't vote on it. It kept on getting debated.
Correct.
It got out to the people. People stopped it from our guns being stripped, our rights being stripped. It's because of those type of actions that you empower the people and the voter. And you bring it back to the people rather than DC, because they believe that they have full authority and power over the people.
All right. Well, let's talk about Obamacare.
Yeah. So, what?
Is he going to tear that asunder? Is he going? Some people say he's going to keep it.
He absolutely will not keep Obamacare. One of the things he opposed it when it was going through the establishment, the Gang of Eight, and all those individuals were completely for Obamacare. So what Cruz is going to do, this is what he believes is really critical to the people. Getting back to the average American making $50,000 a year, struggling to pay their bills. They can't afford $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month in premiums. So what he wants to do is open up all the states. So you can actually buy your insurance. If we look at Florida, you have United Healthcare and Blue Cross and Blue Shield. No one else. This opens it up to Presbyterian, to citizens, to any other private healthcare carrier. It opens it up. And you get the best offer. You pick the best insurance policy for you and your family at the lowest rate. So that's what number one, what Cruz wants to do. Number two, he wants to utilize in a larger fashion health savings account. So from their paychecks, the individuals can put that money in a bank account, which is tax free. It's not taxed at all. It goes into a bank account. They can utilize that money to A, pay for premium, or B, when there's a deductible, they can pay for their deductible.
Yes.
So it crosses state lines. You pay for the deductible. It makes that policy more palatable for individuals, and the disposable income savings that you get from the tax plan affords you to pay for your insurance premium.
If you want to buy insurance.
If you want to buy
There's
insurance.
no
It's
more
not gonna
compulsory this,
There'll
that,
be
the other.
no
There's
more-
mandate idiocy.
Exactly right. And he wants to make it portable. So if you have health insurance, you can delink it from your employer. Right now, if you have a Section 125 plan for your employer where they provide health insurance, you're stuck. You leave that job, you lose your insurance. Cruz is saying no more. You leave that job, that insurance goes with you. And you can buy it at the same rate. There's no same rate. There's no more COBRA, no more premium going from $500 to $1,800.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've been talking with Joseph Sempervivo. He is the CEO of Joseph's Cookies, available in Dollar Tree stores everywhere across the United States. Also, what, 41 different nations?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the mayor of the airwaves, Rhett Palmer. It's a beautiful day.
Yes,
Also, I
yes.
want to invite, of course, Beverly over here to come on the show. How you doing, Beverly?
I'm doing well, and this has been a wonderful week for the volunteers at the hospital. There were more than 500 volunteers improving the quality of life at the Indian River Medical Center.
Yes, we salute all the volunteers. They make a big difference when you come in there. Now,
Oh, boy.
of course,
do they.
Councilor Fromang, your very son is.
Yes, he's the ER doctor, and he's always, he'll say, if I ask, how's it going there? And he always says, our hospital is wonderful. It has so many different aspects to it, and the volunteers are one of the big boys on the block.
And we love what we do. It enables us to improve the quality of life of
Yes.
the patients.
Oh, yeah, when the patient is cared for from the time they walk in the door, Beverly, they become an important person. My son, Dr. Grace Fromang, is constantly telling me about all the different types of people that come into Vero. We are a cosmopolitan area, by the way. We have people from all over the world come to Vero Beach, not Fort Pierce, not Stewart or Melbourne. They come to Vero, the jewel of the Treasure Coast.
Okay, so Indian River Medical Center is saluting the volunteers, and so do we. I know when I've gone in there into the emergency room, for instance, with a loved one, and they assign an advocate to you, which is really nice. You see the people with little pink outfits on all over the place, some not, but 422 adult volunteers last year provided 69,848 hours of service. 78 teenage volunteers provided 4,649 hours of service. Okay, join the team, 772-563-4533 at Indian River Medical Center. Now, also, I want to let you know that today's broadcast is being brought to you by Dr. Chris Olenek, and he, of course, has Eastside Urgent Care.
Oh,
now,
boy.
Eastside Urgent Care is right across the street from the hospital. Go behind Perkins, right in there. One doctor will take care of you. One doctor and one doctor only, and he is a very dedicated doctor. Just want you to know that. So,
Wow, that's good to know.
it's
Good to know to
It
have
is good
that
to know.
sitting there waiting for you, particularly for you, Joseph. With 6 kids coming. Wow, it's nice to have.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Your baby's due any day now. Within the next 10 days, right?
Right, 8 days, yeah.
8 days. Larry, what do you think about all this?
It's exciting. I'm going to have another child to love.
Yes, I have 3 grandchildren myself.
Okay, so you have 3 grandchildren.
Yes.
How many children?
2.
2. How many children do you have, David? I mean, not Larry.
John.
David.
I have 3 children.
3 children. How many grandchildren?
I have 11, and then I have
Oh, my word.
and 9 great grandchildren.
Great grandchildren?
You're
Oh,
kidding.
boy.
Wow. So, and you have how many children, Joseph? Is
Gonna be 6, yeah.
6. Okay. So, really, if you were thinking about them, who would you vote for?
I think if I want to help my children and grandchildren, I would have to vote for Cruz.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he cares. He wants to
How do you know he
protect.
cares?
Well, he wants to balance the budget. That means my grandchildren will not owe when they're born $59,000 in
Each.
debt to the government. He's gonna,
59,000.
Every
Every-
single American
yeah.
owns $59,000 because of the almost the $20 trillion debt
Is
that
it
we're in
possible
now.
to wipe that out?
And-
But
yeah,
it's
it is. And
clicking
he's
every
the only,
second.
yeah,
It's going
and
up.
it goes
every
up every
How can we
second.
wipe it out?
Well, here's number one. He's the only presidential candidate, period, that has signed the balanced budget amendment from the balanced budget balanced budget amendment task force. He's the only one that signed it. And the way that you do it, remember that REINS Act that I was talking about earlier that says if you have something that's going to increase costs of the government, then there's a cooling off period. There's a notice to all the Americans that this bill is going to increase expenditures, and that's how you do it. Now, the other way that you reduce the debt is by creating jobs. A lot of people don't look at that with the balanced budget amendment. With his tax plan
Yes.
of a 10% and a 16% tax, 10% for individuals, 16% for companies, that booms jobs. We know that Cruz is on his scoring shows 4.9 million jobs created. I'm saying because of indirect labor, it's going to go to about 12 million jobs created. You reduce the expenditures from the government because of Medicaid, welfare recipients, and Social Security. When you look at illegals coming here, you're incentivizing them to get jobs, i.e. pay taxes, number one. Number two, not be on the government dole. So it's a 2-for-1. You're reducing expenditures of the government, you're increasing tax revenue to the government, even though you reduced the income tax brackets. So you have people, corporations, everything else paying 0% income taxes now, right? Zero. This way, that everybody pays fair. It's a 10% across the board, regardless of how much you make, up to 36,000. Anybody up to 36,000, it's free. 0% income tax. And so by focusing on expenditures and by focusing on creation of jobs, you pay down that debt much faster.
well, because you'll have all that revenue now.
Exactly.
We have all that, and plus we'll stimulate the economy where these people work and have that extra 15 or 20% cash.
Yeah.
They'll go out and buy refrigerator, TVs, and
Yep.
everything.
Upgrade.
And if we make that in America, it stimulates more business.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful plan.
It
What
is.
about the promises, though, of politicians to
Well-
give away things and give away money and really getting the proletariat?
Oh,
Well, they-
I love that
they-
question. That's a great question. Here's the thing. When Cruz went to, every time he's ran for office, every promise he's made, he's kept. And what happened when you look at the Supreme Court record, he went against his former boss, George W. Bush, in a very critical case where they said the international law overrides U.S. law. And Cruz took that because that was a promise. I will always protect the sovereignty of the state and the nation. That comes first and foremost. When he was Solicitor General of Texas, he said no, he fought for it. Yes, exactly. And he said in that case, it was a Jose Medellin, whatever, was an illegal alien, came here and committed murder. And his boss, Bush, said it was okay. We're going to go by international law. We're going to let him go. And Cruz said, absolutely not. We're going to prosecute him in the United States.
Okay, got to take a break. This is the Mayor of the Airways. Today's broadcast brought to you by Route 60 Hyundai. Now, they have a few cars out there, brand new, that they will sell today and today only. $14,000, $20,000 car, $14,000. Stop out to Route 60 today. You have to tell them you heard about it on the Mayor of the Airways show. Even ask for Tommy Chiranza, the owner, or ask for Michael, the general manager. Brand new vehicle for $14,000. This is the Mayor who loves you, baby.
So tempting. I gotta get myself.
Is that a wrap?
Do you need to get a car? I'll take you up.
That's a wrap.
No, I don't.
That's a wrap, right, Rhett?
That's a wrap.
That was very
That
good.
was excellent.
Okay.
We get that on nationally now.
Yeah, I'm sending it out to Cruz's campaign team today.
Okay, what day of the week is it?
Call me, you have my number.
Thursday the
Okay, we got to
14th.
clear this up.
I will.
We got people coming in.
I'll
Look at the lady in.
We'll do lunch, discuss what you want to do.
I'll get
No, what you want to do, 'cause I don't
Oh,
really-
she's the best.
Thanks for.
All I do is put things
You
together.
do.
Give me your
Thank you
number.
for what you're doing at the hospital too with volunteering.
Yeah.
The candy stripers.
I love what I'm doing.
Thank what she's doing here.
Yeah.
My
She makes
daughter
She
is
changed the whole recipe
working on
on
being
here.
a nurse.
It's like adding a little sugar to spaghetti sauce.
She's a sweet person.
I don't like acidic.
I also volunteer at the museum.
You could have
in
hand, foot,
Riverside.
mouth.
Well, I tell you what, it's good that you do that, Beth.
You have a blister on your tongue?
It's such a great community.
Rhett,
It is a great commitment.
blister on your tongue?
I can't
You
believe
could have-
there's so many volunteers.
Yeah, you
When
could have
I
hand,
went to
foot,
a show
mouth.
and they said, Larry, he said, we.
It's, you get a blister on your tongue.
Volunteers just at the Riverside.
Check your hands.
Oh, yeah.
To keep it
I
running.
bite my nails.
I mean,
No, check your hands.
No, I don't have.
community-minded
I know
people,
it.
it's amazing.
I've
But they're
lived
unsung heroes, as
Yes.
far as I'm
Right,
concerned.
Exactly.
And they are
Oh,
heroes.
thank you.
That's a good way
Changing
to
America.
Could you
I have
imagine
three,
if they had a
I had
fee
three
for
grandchildren.
every one of those things? The
I thought
ticket would be
you did good.
$100 instead of
Thank you,
18 or
Counselor.
$25.
Mhm.
And people don't realize
Of course they
how
do.
those volunteers are worth so much money
Oh, my gosh.
and dollar and cents.
I'll take care of this.
I'd like to get to the bottom of this rationing of healthcare at this, Palm,
I love
the,
this.
West Palm.
Oh,
I
great.
love
Who made it?
I bought it somewhere, I forget where I bought it, but.
Yeah, Joseph, yeah.
You're very articulate. Is it because you know what you're talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
You
thank
have-
you. I
You have a
appreciate that.
wealth of information
Oh,
and you
thank you.
express it very well.
Well, thank you.
And I